think about all the stuff that you can do. And it may sound cliche, but it's literally like, what is the thing that you would do for free every day? And you heard earlier in the conversation, that's what gaming was for me. I was gaming anyway. And so it goes, oh, well, why not just slap a camera on it? And if I get some money, I get some money. If I don't, guess what? I was going to play games anyway. You said it earlier when you were like, don't just do it for the money. That's number one. That's the first thing.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life who want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Today we get to speak with Cris P Giles, a founder and lead creator at Black Tie Media, where he helps entrepreneurs and content creators navigate and monetize in the web3 world. He has spent the last 18 years in the entertainment and live events industry, where he has done everything from DJing, audio engineering, video engineering, and more for live and virtual events. He's also currently handles marketing and business development for J Street Studio. He also currently handles marketing and business development for J Street Productions. As a content creator, gamer, and experienced tech live streamer, he took a huge interest in blockchain technology and what it had to offer the everyday consumer. This opened the door for a lot of his new projects and the opportunity to help others get ahead of the curve, find their space, and monetize it in Web3. He's been a guest on numerous podcasts and shows, spoken at the Podfest Masterclass Summit, and on the Grow with Google platform. In today's episode, we talk a little bit about live streaming, what it takes to be a content creator, and gamer and a father. It was so much fun talking to him, so I can't wait for you to listen to the episode. So dial in and sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hey, Cris, thanks so much for coming out to the podcast.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. I couldn't have asked for a better time in the year. I mean, it's spring. The weather is finally getting warmer. I know you're on the East Coast too.
Yep, it's finally catching up.
Oh my goodness. It's been some really fun times. Well, Cris, it's been really awesome following your journey, all the amazing things you're doing over there at the Amazon, live streaming, all the amazing tech that you've been sharing with your community. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started into all this business of content creation.
Yeah, for sure, man. So again, my name's Cris Giles. I actually started, man, years ago. I started as a DJ when I was 18, man. I fresh out of high school and got into DJing for years, got into audio production, live events through that. And then have a huge interest in gaming. Like I love video games, and now I have a couple teenagers, so love being able to play with them and share with them. And so honestly, I guess 2017, I started getting interested in Twitch and all that stuff. So I started playing around with it. I was like, well, this is what I do for a living. Why not have some fun on the side with it? And so jumped into trying to stream on Twitch for a little bit. got busy again, and then kind of 2020 hit, and there was nothing to do but sit at home and stream.
Yeah, yeah.
So jump back in it, man.
By the way, your mic is a little too hot, so I don't know if you can turn the gain down a little bit.
How's that? Is that
better? I think that's better.
Cool.
Yeah, to turn my, like, wait, I can't stop him in mid-sentence. Just turn my volume. All right, so you got into gaming, you got into streaming, and then because having teenage kids, I have an almost teenager, and he was talking to me about FPS and gaming and LED lights. I'm like, all right, let me tell you a little lesson. I mean, we've grown up building computers for decades, right?
Yep.
And he just got inspired, not because he watched me build computers, because his cousins or his uncles are building computers, and he's like, they get that drift, and like, oh, but that time.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I mean, that's how it was with them, man. Like, even now, man, I'm still like, your dad's a content creator, right? Like, you're watching all these guys, like, this is what we do. Like,
yeah.
I had to like flex on him. Like, let's go watch some people. Let me show you who I know, and like the circles we roll in. And he's just kind of like, oh, you real, dude. I'm like, dude, what is going on?
What do you think? Yeah.
So
now that's really awesome. And what's beautiful about that is they have such a huge leg up on all this tech, all the knowledge. It's almost like we have young Doc Rocks in the making, because Doc Rock talks about how his dad told him, you got to get your audio right, you got to get all this stuff right. So it's proud, it's a proud moment as a parent for sure that we get to pass down our knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm with you on the same thing, man. It's like you said though, let somebody else had to kind of nudge them in, right? They had to kind of want to come in, and they're like, oh, this is actually, oh, okay, let me follow you. So it's so good, man.
It is. And what's cool is my kid, he asked me, because his neighborhood kids are saying, oh, you got to have a YouTube channel, you can make a lot of money. And then he comes to me, oh, Dad, I want to make a YouTube channel so we can have lots of subscribers and we can make lots of money. I'm like, okay, all right, you got to get started though. So I trained him on cameras, and I trained him on, I was like, all right, go record a video. So he recorded the video, and they're like, Dad, can you edit the video for me? I'm like, all right, not right now. I'm busy, right? I didn't have time. We don't have time as content creators. So after a couple of weeks of like, wait, hold on a second. Here's a laptop. Here's how you edit. Go at it, here. And then he trained himself, learned how to do it. I'm like, okay, that's more like it. Instead of you taking my time, I can now pass stuff over to you.
Exactly.
And you can edit for me. So it's pretty fun. It's also a realization for myself, and I'm sure you had that too. Like, how long am I going to do this by myself? And then now that they're coming in, like, okay, oh, that's where it's going. Yeah.
Oh man, because what the biggest thing was for my son, like, so my two oldest are 17, and so my son, I took him. He was here for, it might have been the summertime, and I had a buddy that does a car YouTube channel, and I was just like, hey. I'm just like, hey, man, I'm not doing anything. Like, if you just want me to come shoot, I'll come shoot, man. And so he hits me up, and he's like, let's go shoot. And so we're out there, shooting Lamborghinis and Audis and all that. So I bring my son to record me recording him. So I'm like, so now he's like got all these videos of like, oh, I'm gonna show my friends, like, I got to sit in a Lamborghini. And I'm like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's cool, man. Like, you make your own path. Like, and so that's what I think is good, man.
Man, that's such awesome. So how long have you been in this space? You mentioned 2017 is what you got in, but tell us a little backstory on how it even occurred to, get in this space.
It's funny, man. It was kind of always a side thing, right? Like from the gaming side, I was interested in the gaming side, but I was like, man, I'm a dad, I'm grown, like I got a job. Like, I don't know if I have the time to really, really do it. And again, with 2020, things slowed down. So I'm in the live event space. So obviously there were no live events to do. And so a buddy of mine, Monty Weaver, we know each other from like high school. We grew up in the
Oh
same
my God.
area, and I just see him online, and I just
Uh-huh.
see him everywhere, and he's like talking about YouTube classes. So I'm like, oh, well, I ended up managing a group on Facebook, had
Hmm.
about 11 or 12,000 people at the time, and I hit him up and I'm like, hey, yo, can I just interview you for this thing? And
Yeah.
talking about YouTube, he's like, oh yeah, sure, of course. And he starts talking, and I'm literally like jaw dropped, like, what am I doing with myself? Why am I, just streaming for free over here on Facebook and all these
Yeah.
places?
Yeah.
And so I jump in his YouTube group, and so he's teaching about YouTube, and then Amazon Live comes around, and he
Hmm.
nudges me and goes, and just me, like, you tell me something, I'm just going to jump out there and see what happens. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw this thing. I'm not sure if it's great, but maybe you should check it out, man. I jumped in there, and that was the game changer for me. Like, I was addicted because as content creating, like, I love live streaming.
Hmm.
That's just how I go, because it's so hard for me to produce canned content. Like,
Sure.
just jumping on here, you asking a question and me just going, like, that's
Hmm.
my natural state. And so
Yeah.
being able to live stream and make money while doing it without sponsors and all that stuff in the beginning was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the golden grail. Like, let's go.
Absolutely. And what's beautiful is that it's just the beginning, right? It's just the beginning. Yes, people have been creating content for YouTube and posting their affiliate links to Amazon. And Amazon's like, wait, we can create our own live stream platform. I mean, they bought Twitch a few years ago. They haven't really done anything with it. So I'm guessing that slowly they're bringing the tech over to the Amazon platform.
I think that's one of the craziest things that we've been trying to notice is, like, they like compartmentalize so much that, like,
Mm-hmm.
you could talk to somebody else at Amazon that doesn't even know Amazon Live exists. Like, people on Twitch are like, what is Amazon Live? And you're like, you guys know it's the same company, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's probably an office down the hall that does the thing, and like, they don't even know inside the company. So it's the craziest. I don't know. It's the craziest thing, man.
But I think what's awesome is that at least they have a whole team around just growing that little platform. Because if you think about it, Amazon is a huge company, right? Uh, they have spaces like Amazon Amazon Web Services. They have the Kindle group. They have the Shop group. They have so many different groups. So Amazon Live might as well be a startup within Amazon.
Oh man, absolutely, man. And I think one of the craziest things was, again, I didn't get a live streaming to sell and to be the salesman, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
accidental. I just wanted to play video games and hope somebody paid me one day, right? And but it was like we jumped into that, and then we realized there was this whole world that came before Amazon Live. Like, Amazon Live is catching the wave of what's happening in Eastern culture. Like,
Yeah.
for was it a lot of places in like China and Japan that are
Hmm.
doing live selling all the time. Like, this is how
Yes.
they buy stuff. And I was like, oh, so we're actually late to the
We're
game,
late
but
to the
early for
game.
US, right? Like, so so it gave me the opportunity, man. Like, Alibaba, they have a live, and one of the
Mm,
sponsors that I had on Amazon Live was like, hey, do you want to create on Alibaba Live? Because everybody that was doing it over there were employees of the company. And
mm,
so they were just kind of like fumbling around with the cell phone, like they didn't really know. And they were like,
right.
you'll be like you'll be streaming and look good. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Like, let me jump on there and see what that's about. So it was a pretty cool experience.
Wow. That's really powerful. And if you think about it, Amazon Live is the next level to QVC. I mean, we've had shopping channel networks for a long time. Of course, they require a big production. You have, lots of things going on. Amazon Live is, all right, I got this. It's like you have the Uber Black, right? That's the TV QVC production. And then we have the Uber X or Lyft, which is what we got going on from our own homes using our phones.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And it's like, I mean, because and people who even follow the creator and like I think people. It's funny because people are acting like creator economy is a new thing, right? Or like
Hmm.
influencer marketing is a new thing. Like
Yeah.
it's been going on since way before we were kids, right?
Oh,
Like
yes.
you paid so and so to get on the movie and
Hmm.
wear this hat. Like it's the same thing. It's just now it's in your pocket, like it's in your
Yeah.
hand 90% of the day.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the best way for them to capitalize on it because now who's watching cable. Like I don't know, my mom has cable, but like I don't really know that many people that just have regular cable anymore. So who's watching HSN or googling it?
Exactly.
Do they
Exactly.
even stream? I don't know.
Hmm. No, you're absolutely right. That's so true. And we have it's so much more accessible for literally anybody to grab their phone, download the app, and start streaming. In fact, I saw J Lo's very first Amazon Live
Mm,
on the platform, and she's literally looking at an iPhone, streaming from an iPhone. Now, sure,
that's
she had a
hilarious.
person next to her that's reading the comments and telling her who to say hello to or whatever.
Yeah.
But again, it's so accessible now. It's mind blowing.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, like you said, the ease of. I mean, literally the price of entry was to have an iPhone or an Apple product.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. Not everybody has one, but you're still talking what 60-70% of the country has the
Yeah.
ability to jump on. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then early on, remember, you didn't even have to have a lot of followers. Like it wasn't even like you had to have these millions of subscribers. I think I
Hmm.
got in on my Instagram. I might have had 3,000
Yeah.
followers, and that's from DJ days. That's all that, and they were just like, yeah,
Hmm.
sure, why not? And so it
Yeah.
was like, oh man, I can, man, yeah, it's just crazy.
It is. It is absolutely crazy. Now, what we're talking about is Amazon Live. It's a platform Amazon's building out. It's probably almost 2 years old. I'm not sure. I don't even know the first time they started it, but it's really powerful. If you have a good enough following on either Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, I think there's a way for you to get in. And essentially it works like an affiliate account and you get percentage of the sales. So anytime you're promoting something, um, and people buy that, you get a percentage of that sales. Now, Amazon has had that model for years with the affiliate income, but this is the next level because you're talking to people who are already looking to purchase the products on their stores.
Oh man, yeah. A couple of buddies, Chris and Jim, man. One of the best examples they gave was like, you ever go to the mall and you're in the store and you see the thing, whatever the whirly bird thing,
Yeah.
toy, and you're like,
Yeah.
man, how's this work? I wish somebody would tell me if it works or do people buy it? Is
Hmm.
it good for 4-year-olds? That
Yeah.
kind of thing. And like that's what this is that people are on Amazon buying whatever they're buying.
Hmm.
And there's a little box in the bottom with somebody live
Yeah.
talking about the thing. And you can go, hey, should I get this? And they'll go, well, what are you using it for? And
What do
you're
you?
like,
Yeah.
they're talking to me live.
Yeah. Exactly. It's that human connection, right? It's bringing that human connection back, and human beings love to talk to each other. That's why we're
Absolutely.
having this podcast, right? We have similar interests. We have kids that love gaming, and we like gaming ourselves, and we're having a conversation. So when you're live streaming and people throw questions at you, and you are able to answer their questions, you're not only having a conversation, but you're also helping somebody. And when you help somebody, man, does it feel good?
Oh man, it's so good, man. Yeah, the amount of people that ask questions and like ended up not buying the one thing that they were going to get because they actually needed something else. Like the amount of
Yeah,
times that it happens on a live stream is amazing, man.
yeah, it is. And I'm really grateful for the platforms that are enabling this. The beautiful thing is the creator economy has been around. The influencer economy has been around, right? Michael Jackson was an influencer.
Yeah,
All right. All right. He's an artist, he's a public figure. He was, one of a kind, and it's now just more accessible for a lot more people.
yeah, yeah, man. The ability for a mom of 3 kids to start a blog that has 1,000 followers
Mm-hmm.
and she can make 6 figures from this blog that 1,000 people read,
Yeah.
because you said it earlier, that know, like, and trust. And it's like, do you trust, and again, there's the stars and the movie stars, and you're kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
do I trust J Lo to tell me about the thing for my baby to be safe, or do I assume that she's being bought out, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, well, Susie is just a mom at home with 3 kids writing about this stuff for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll believe her. And then it
Mm-hmm.
turns into a business when you when you do it right. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, the power is absolutely there. So if you're interested in anything at all, you just got to ask the right people. And, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to Cris over here, and we'll point you in the right direction. But you got to have the right why. It's not about, oh, I want to make $1 million. Yes, you can make $1 million, but you got to put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what's so great, man. And I think that's why, like, following you and following, a lot of people that are in our space, in our community that we talk to, I love following them and being in community with them, because they're doing it. The thing that they're doing is the thing that they're actually interested in. It's not really about the
Yes.
money. It's, for me, again, it got into it because it was gaming. Like, I only talk about tech gear. I don't talk about home goods in my kitchen, because that's just not what interests me.
Right.
So, it's, you got to love it, man.
Yeah, you gotta love it, and you gotta know what you're talking about. Sure, I can talk about a orange juice or a citrus juicer because I use it myself, right, in my kitchen. We had lemons going dry, so my wife's like, all right, put them in a vat of water. We put them in water. After a couple of days, I'm like, okay, let's put them in the fridge because they're going bad. I'm like, okay, why don't we just make lemonade out of them? I'm like, all right, so use the juicer, made lemonade, and then like, oh, we got some of these strawberries that we're not eating, so let's throw in some strawberries. I'm like, how do you make strawberry with lemonade? Like, oh, you just put them in the blender, and it turned out really good.
Right. And it's that. It's like, this is what I used every day. Like,
Yeah.
For me, it just happens. I just happened to be a guy that was in production anyway, that
Yeah.
DJ'd anyway, So that's so amazing, bro.
It is absolutely amazing. So we talked about what our motivations were, why we're doing this, and how fun it is. And if you're not having fun, you're just being miserable for no reason. So
Exactly. Why are you doing it if you're not having fun?
Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please go and find Cris. We have show notes in the show notes. You'll find links to connect with Cris. But after these messages, Cris is going to share 3 hacks to take away so that you can apply it in your life, in your entrepreneurship, as a coach, whatever it is that you're doing. These are practical things that all of us can take away and start using them. So after these messages, we'll have some cool chat. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening. Hey guys, if you've been listening, we have been talking with Cris P. Giles. It's been a fun conversation. We get to talk about our love for gaming, streaming, our kids getting into gaming, and all the things that go into live streaming. It's been a lot of fun conversation, and again, like content creation. So Cris got some really cool hacks to share with you guys that you can immediately use and into any part of what you're doing, content creation, social media, whatever it is. So Cris, take it away, man.
Man, my first thing is always going to be passion. Find a thing, think about all the stuff that you can do. And it may sound cliche, but it's literally like, what is the thing that you would do for free every day? And, that's it. You heard earlier in the conversation, that's what gaming was for me. I was gaming anyway. And so it goes, oh, well, why not just slap a camera on it? And if I get some money, I get some money. If I don't, guess what? I was going to play games anyway. Mm-hmm. And so, you said it earlier when you were like, don't just do it for the money.
Yeah.
So that's number one. That's the first thing. A practical thing, and we kind of talked about this offside, was I'm not a so a lot of people get into the finding your weakness and trying to make your weakness stronger and trying to change it. And what I've been subscribing to is finding what your strength is
Mm-hmm.
and then just triple down.
Yeah.
And so, we were talking about in this practical thing. For me, my strength in content is live.
Mm.
And a new one is becoming short form. Like I can get it right. I can get a 60-second clip
Yeah.
right. If I'm trying to make an 8-9 minute YouTube video, man, that thing is horrendous. It's horrible. And so because of that, like most of my content is now Instagram and TikTok for the shorts, and then I'm doing Amazon live streams
Mm.
because I'd rather just get up there and fumble it live and go, hey, it is what it is. There's no changing it than
Yeah.
having to figure it out ahead. But that is me figuring out me. Like, don't live stream because people say you should live stream. Like, figure out what you're comfortable with and just triple down. And then my third thing I always tell everybody, especially in content creation, but no matter what space you're trying to get into, is start where you are. People look and they go the setup and they're like the lights and the camera and the microphones and all this stuff, right? And they're like, oh man, what did you use and what software and this and that? And I'm like, look. I got all of this because I talk about tech. So if I show up talking about tech and I look like I'm a hostage somewhere, right? Like there's the lighting's horrible, and you're gonna be like, does this guy know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
So I have to look the part, right? You talk tech, you talk home studio builds, right? Like you have to look the part.
Yeah.
And so the phone in your pocket, literally, after all the phones we've had over the years, the cameras, like it's literally one of the best cameras that you can use.
Yes.
To the point that I've actually gone backwards and I've actually started using my phone more, to the point of editing my videos from my phone just to prove a point, just to prove that the content is really that simple. I don't have to use, the Adobes or the Filmores or that. I can literally use CapCut, which is free on a phone and edit all my videos. It's crazy, man. So those are my tips, man.
Man, those are tried and true tips, because you know what? We are both here talking about it and it has worked for us, right? It's worked for us. So take that to the heart and start where you are. I love that. Start where you are, because when you say, oh, I'm going to get that nice bike and start biking, it's never going to happen. Trust me. I've been there. I waited a whole 15 years before I really bought a bike. Okay. I'm like, I'm going to go buy that bike and I'm going to ride it. Yeah. And it just never happened till like 2010. I was like, okay, I really want to do this. And I just went and bought whatever bike I could find. My brother-in-law told me, okay, get this bike, get a hardtail, because if you're going to spend under $1,000, you want to get a hardtail. If you want to get something with all suspension, then you're going to be spending $2,000-$3,000. I'm like, okay, start where you are. That's where I'm going to start. Yep. And then the rest is history, because I got started.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you'll get into it and you'll either find out a couple things. You either find out that it's not for you, or you'll find out that, you know what, I actually like the thing that I have. I don't even need all the extra stuff. The amount of people that I met that have the money to buy all the equipment, and don't. Oh man, I was watching this one guy, a business guy. I think it was Alex Hermosi, and they're like making fun of him because the place he records literally feels like it's this big. Yeah, and it's like this long thing, and they're like, dude, like you got all this money, you're $100 million man. What's up? And he's like, I paid $80,000 for a studio and I couldn't turn it on. Yeah, but guess what? I can turn my laptop on and talk on Zoom, and it's like And now his YouTube channel is like skyrocketing from these videos of the laptop webcam, and it was the content, man.
It's all about the content. It's not the gear. And I know this is me telling you that you need to look good. Yes, there's a place for both of them, right? Yeah. You want to be, my good friend Ken Okazaki says, it's the Will Smith effect. You want to be relatable, use your phone, but you also want to show professional look, that you can go the other way. Yep. You can clean up. In the movies, when people dress up, I'm like, whoa, you clean up nice.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So you got to give the people, both of them, so that you're a well-rounded personality. And that's where home studios, live streaming, all of this comes into play. Because when you meet somebody in person and you're talking to them for a while, They're like, all right, this guy's a real deal. He knows what's up. You know, he's answering all the questions. He's looking good. He's not looking good. And then over time, you just build that trust. You build that likeness, and you know you're gonna follow them no matter where they go.
Absolutely, man. That's so good. That's so good.
Awesome, man. It's been so much fun talking with you, Cris. We had so much fun talking about gaming, streaming, what it takes to be a content creator, and just get started, be comfortable with who you are, and show up. You know, just show up.
Yeah. That's the first one. If you don't show up, man, you ain't in the game, right?
Absolutely, man. So, toward the end of our show, I like to ask some really quick questions.
Sweet.
But we can go long. We got time. What is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
You know, this is funny. I put something else. I think I put golf because you have this question on the thing. And I think I put golf, and I laugh because I remember we've talked in the past, and I saw you post a video, and it was beekeeping. And literally it's because I watched you with some of that stuff, and literally that's actually on my list of right now. We're in an apartment, so I'm like holding off, but when we get into a house and I can have the space too, like that is on my list of I've already been looking up stuff and trying to figure out because we had really in my family, just the kids, we all have really bad allergies, so I was like, oh, the honey, it'd be nice to build our immunity up a little bit better, or whatever the actual word is. But yeah, that's my next one, man.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, honey has been great, and that was the entire reason I got into it as well. It's been fabulous.
Yeah.
What did you want to be when you were a child?
That's funny. I actually used to want to be either a firefighter or a police officer.
Nice. Those are actually pretty good. Firefighters, I actually know one of my cycling mates used to be in the volunteer firefighting.
Nice.
So he would hang out. He would go for a weekend and stay at the station.
Yeah.
And then they would go fight some fires. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. How do I get in? Because I want to go down that pole. It's so much fun. Everybody wants to.
I only didn't do it, man, because I realized I didn't like heights, and I was like, so if you got to climb that ladder, you're up stuck in the cat's in the tree. The cat's staying because I can't get him.
Oh my God, that's too funny. All right, next one. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh man, that's good. My favorite show, man, I keep going back to is Kim's Convenience on Netflix. You ever heard of that one?
Oh yes. I'm waiting on season 6. I don't know if they're gonna put season 6 on Netflix, because once they finished production, all the actors came out on Twitter. I'm like, come on.
Yep.
Will I ever get it to watch season 6 on Netflix? We'll let you know in the future episode. Hopefully. Oh my God. All right. Next question. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
Oh man. What movie would I choose if I got to be a character? Man, it would have to be an action movie. Mm-hmm. Honestly, something in the military. Something I've never done and I've always had a heart for are people in the military. And what's the movie? 13 Hours.
Oh,
the story of Benghazi, and I was like, that's like literally one of my favorite movies. So yeah, it would be something like along that lines of being able to do that.
13 Hours. I have not seen that movie, but I'm gonna have to check it out. Next one. Who is your favorite superhero?
Ooh, good one. Iron Man.
Mine too. I love the guy. His story arc in the movies was, wow.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Last question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Monopoly is like my favorite game. And when I realized the relationship that Monopoly had to real life, and if you actually got it, game over. I was
game over.
Monopoly in real life. Like, that's how the wealthy stay wealthy.
Tell me about it, man. Whew. Tell me about it. It is absolutely amazing. Monopoly. And I think I spoke with somebody who said they have a Monopoly game that's Star Wars themed.
Yeah.
So it's got R2D2. It's got Darth Vader. I think I can't remember all the other characters they had, but you get to be one of those pieces when you're playing it.
That's so awesome. Cool, man. I actually had a buddy. He passed away, but I found out later. I never got to actually go see the collection, but apparently he had actually won a record at one point for having the most copies of like Monopoly, like the different diverse Monopolies. Like he had like the largest collection of Monopolies, and I was like, and I just never got to go actually see the basement to see them all. And I'm like, this is crazy, man. So
that's insane. That's amazing. Well, Cris, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time and sharing the tips with our audience. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun talking. If you have any questions, please reach out to either one of us. Links in the show notes, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Hacks and Hobbies. You can find additional information on the guest today on the website hacksandhobbies.com. Please feel free to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming interviews with amazing guests.